Hello, friends, and welcome to another tabletop adventure from Queen's Court Games. My name is Alex, and tonight we will be continuing our story through Shane Ivey's Extremophilia. This will be episode 3 in our series, so if you have not already seen episodes 1 and 2, I would go back and check those out first so you don't get any spoilers and you know what's going on. You can catch up with that story on either YouTube or your favorite podcast app, which you can find our stuff on One Shots and Other Mischief. As always, if you would like links to information about the scenario, or about our cast, you can type !scenario in the chat or !cast to get that info. Also, if you are watching this in the future, you can find that information on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app under the show notes. Tonight, I will be joined on our mission by our wonderfully talented group of performers who will be playing our agents this evening. As Agent Hemlock, it is Killian.
Hi.
Excellent. And as Agent Sage, we have Abbigail.
Hello.
And as Agent Neem, we have Pooja.
Hello, hello.
And last but certainly not least, we have as Agent Rosewater, it's QCG's very own Aubrey.
Hello.
Before we begin, please know that Delta Green is an adult horror game and may contain elements that some viewers may find uncomfortable or objectionable, including blood, gore, body horror, drug and alcohol use, eating disorders, gun violence, medical horror, mind control, and paralysis. Please consult our full list of warnings by typing in !safety in the chat or taking a look in the show notes. Cast and myself have gone through a safety and consent questionnaire. We've discussed these and other topics in our session 0, as well as in between sessions 1 and 2. All of us have agreed to hold ourselves accountable to a code of conduct that will ensure our table remains a safe and respectful environment for our collaborative storytelling. We open with seeing Dr. McCaslin walking out in the middle of the plains of Montana. We get a nice camera view of just the vast expanse of nothing as he seems to walk with purpose in a specific direction, making corrections not gradually, but suddenly, like something correcting quickly on its course. We see him walk out into the middle of a road, and then suddenly we hear a loud car horn, and we see a white pickup truck swerve off of the road. Dr. McCaslin keeps walking as a very angry man steps out of the truck. He gets in the doctor's face and starts yelling at him, saying that he's some kind of city idiot and what the hell is he doing and what in the world is he doing walking out into the middle of the street. The big things that I would like to call attention to with our scene here is that the doctor has stopped and is just staring at this man. Also, we can see the back of the man's truck, which is covered in various Make America Great Again and other items. We also see a large sticker that depicts an eagle, and underneath it says Guardians of Liberty. Camera goes back to the doctor's face, just zooming in on just this flat, expressionless look. And then we flip back to seeing this angry man yelling in his face, as suddenly from the right-hand side, a fist comes and impacts his temple. The man, whatever the man was saying, is ended abruptly as he crumples to the ground. But he's not dead. We can see that he's still breathing. And we see the doctor kind of kneel down, take something from his pocket, insert it into the man's mouth, and then put his hand over his mouth, forcing him to swallow whatever it was. Then we see the doctor stand back up and continue walking. And he walks under a large road sign that depicts mountainous areas and says, "The beauty of Montana." And then we fade back to our agents, who have just gotten a text message from our handler stating that 2 things: identifying the person that we saw in the video as Dr. McCaslin, and also saying that the body of Deputy Jacobs needs to be removed and taken to the special drop location, otherwise known as the Green Box. Receiving that alarming information, we will go first to Agents Hemlock and Agent Sage, who have just left the coroner's office and are now most likely driving off to go to Blue Sky Road. Agents Hemlock and Sage, what are you two going to do with this information now that you've received it?
Agent Hemlock, since they are in a vehicle or about to get into a vehicle with a deputy, sends a group text message saying, we need to... Remind me real quick the name of the deputy we're with.
That's okay. Also, the deputy has his own car, so he wouldn't necessarily have to go with you. But his name...
He did try and get us to go in his car at the end of last session.
Right, yes.
So.
Yeah, it's up to you if you were going to follow him or whatever else. Yeah. Sergeant Eric Hayes.
I'll send a group text message, since I'm pretty sure we haven't even made it to the vehicles yet, and say, we need to lose Deputy Hayes. The coroner assistant already left. Then we can complete. Rosewater, can you help? And then out loud will be like, Deputy, we're going to go ahead and take our own vehicle. We have another meeting immediately after this that we were just made aware of, so we will need to leave post haste to make that.
All right, sure, I'll follow you.
Agent Rosewater, you got any help for us?
Well, I do have full access. Do I have full access to their stuff yet?
So Terry was there with you. He gave you access to their file server and their data system. He probably isn't paying much attention to what you're actually doing at this point. He's kind of taken by other items. But yes, you do have the ability, if you wanted to get in and start messing with stuff. So what is it that you would like to do?
I would like to create a fake alert in the system, like a crime reported, probably within a couple of blocks of the, where the mortuary, that word, is, it's something that would require the deputy's immediate attention, like armed robbery or like assault in progress or something like that.
Sure.
One of those things where it's like maybe it's already ended by the time he gets there, and he's got to have to take statements, and even if nobody saw anything, it's going to take him some time to deal with.
Sure. I will ask you this though. Are you trying to get everybody to respond to this? Because if you would like to do that, the armed robbery is probably the best way to do that, because that will be a call to all people. Just the same as if you were to put out an APB, you know, it would be something that would go to everybody, and they would consider it high priority.
Yeah, that would definitely get the police off of our trail for a little bit and let us work as they set up to do this. I don't know if there's like a bank near there. Maybe the robbery's taking place at the bank.
Sure. So you are effectively swatting this bank. All right. So if that's what we're doing. All right. So yeah, you can send that information over to them. Robbery in progress. We'll get everybody out. Is it armed robbery? Like, how dangerous do you want to make this?
Armed robbery,
hostages? You don't need to say that there's hostages, by the way.
Yeah, I don't. Hostages, armed robbery, you know, I don't know, there's 4 people. I don't know, something like that, in progress.
All right, so when you do that, there are some things that are going to happen. And this is okay that this happens, because this won't come back to bite you until probably later. All right. So you put out the call for an armed robbery. suspects have 4 people in basically 4 hostages.
Maybe I can connect it to the maybe one of the vehicles has stickers related to the local militia.
You could say something like that. I will say you probably don't know as much about it at this point unless that information was shared with you. You do know they exist, but there's not really that much unless you were, homing basically.
I probably was looking up information because we were told that, like, I was the one that was here to get all the information.
Yeah, I will say let's do this to see how well you can pull this off.
Okay.
So sending out the notice, you are phenomenal at computer sciences. That's not going to be a problem. The problem comes in the fact that you don't have all of the info that you would need to properly pin it on a specific group of people, if that is your intent. Now, I will say we can say that you can try, which I will say this is less so a computer science thing because I'm going to say it's going to be something more like being able to go through a database. So let's go ahead and use search, please.
Search? Okay.
Yes.
27 under 40.
Perfect. I will say with that, you can say that the local, some people in the militia may be, like, you could just say that
possible militia involvement.
Right. Just by their paraphernalia or something. Maybe you found a couple of pictures of them or something like that you would be able to properly convey who these people are. Okay. So when you do that, now, Agent Neem, you were with an officer, weren't you, that was driving you?
Yes, Vice. Vice was driving both myself and Christine to the hospital. Yeah.
So you are in the car, I think most likely driving, as all of a sudden the console, the patrolman's console just lights up with warnings and feed, like, getting information from the dispatch saying that there's a robbery in progress, possible hostage situation, and giving the address. Now, he's going to turn to you and be like, listen, I can drop you off at the hospital with her, but after that I need to go.
Sounds good.
Okay. And he is now turned on his lights and is going, no, he's not supposed to, but it's fine. Turn on his lights and he's going to speed towards the hospital. Agent Sage and Agent Hemlock, you see Sergeant Hayes. Was he still out of the vehicle, or had he gotten into his car when you kind of conveyed this message?
We were walking to the cars as I had conveyed it, but he probably had gotten into his car and us in ours by the time the call went out.
Sure. So if you're looking at him, what you see is a person scrambling and kind of picks up the receiver, says something which you can't tell because you can't read his lips through the car, and just speeds off. And Agent Rosewater, the die has been cast. You have about an hour of time for all of you to be able to do stuff right now, because what they're going to do is they're going to go to this location with the assumption that there are dangerous people there. They are going to come in fully armed and armored. They are going to not just take them saying everything's fine, because that's not how this works. You're most likely
clear the bank.
Yeah, you are most likely going to get a SWAT team involved too, especially since you said that there were hostages. So you got a bit of time before somebody comes back, but it's safe to say that most of the actual officers are gone from the station at this point. Terry's still there because Terry's not an officer. Terry's a civilian.
To be like, wow, what's going on? Type.
Okay, so Agent Rosewater has bought you all your opening. Agent Neem is still speeding towards the hospital, but Agent Hemlock and Sage, what do you two want to do?
I'll send off one more quick message to Rosewater saying that we are likely to be caught on camera. in our attempts right now to steal the body. And if they could cover our tracks, it would be very helpful.
Also, my picture is in the database now, so if you could get that out too, I'd
really
appreciate it. Thank
you. We need those pictures removed. But then I assume there's a back door that's less likely for us to be seen, that we can go park by. Nope, just the one door? Okay.
There is a back door, but you would need... are you going for speed, or are you going for...
Speed, probably, yeah.
Okay, the back door
is...
Yeah, the back door is one that is reinforced in metal. The front door is glass. You could probably put a couple shots through it and go through it, which is going to make people in the area report shots fired, but...
I mean, that
or
would
you can
help
figure
tell
out
the
some
story.
other way of getting through. You can figure out another way of getting through, but I will say if you're going for speed, the front door is going to be faster.
I am going to go... Could I make an argument for using stealth to be able to try and pick the lock to get in?
So what I would say is stealth is not so much that. It would be more so things like criminology.
Okay.
That would... Well, not so much criminology. It would be... let's see... Because stealth is more your ability to get to another place in a sneaky manner. Yeah. If you have some sort of like mechanical crafting abilities, or let's see, what could we use for you?
Military science land?
That would be more so if this was a military piece of equipment.
I have a crafting ability in pottery.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Picking the lock, because you probably don't have lock picks with you either. And you can't just like bobby pin and get through it in a reasonable amount of time. Plus, it's a modern lock system, so it's going to be pretty difficult to get through. So I would suggest doing this. You want to get through the front door. The front door is glass. Admittedly, it's pretty thick, but, you know, there are things that break glass. You could use things like athletics to barrel through it. You can shoot it. You can try throwing things through it. Because no matter what, if you're going for speed, you're going to incur an alarm.
Let me see.
Or you could run your car into it.
Fucking my firearms is a little bit better than my athletics.
So,
wait. Yeah, okay.
So I won't make you roll for firearms because it's an inanimate object.
Okay.
But what I will say is, go ahead and roll. We're going to say roll the damage. So you have a service pistol, which I believe is a D10. Yes, that's pistols. You have a service pistol, so I would say go ahead and roll your D10. Now, have you told Agent Sage that you're doing this, or are you just...
I will tell her before. I'm going to be like, stand back, plug your ears. We're going for quickness, and I'm going to shoot this shit. Okay,
so I will tell you that shooting glass is not like in the movies. It won't just shatter.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, what you're going to have to do is you're going to fire a few rounds into this thing, which will make it so that the integrity of the glass is worse. And then you kick it or jump through it, basically.
I have awesome unarmed combat. I can kick it.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll me damage, please, with your first.
That is an 8.
Okay. I will say that you only need to expend about half of your clip, which you don't need to keep track of ammo in this for this particular scenario. But it's irrelevant to know how many times you have to shoot and how many times people in the area will hear what's going on. You do have the benefit of the fact that the coroner's office doesn't have a whole lot of things around it. But again, you're not going for, stealth here. You need to be fast.
Yeah.
Because that would require a lot more setup.
Sage, zip the body back up in the bag. If possible, get it on a gurney. I'm going to look for the effects.
Okay.
As I kick in the door.
All right. So you kick through the door. I will say that you managed to get into the lab. The alarm is going off. There are cameras in here. So you are, and granted, Agent Rosewater can access some things, but there are local cameras and whatnot. But, deal with that in the future. ultimately you have a thing you need to take care of. So you would like to get to the body and find the effects, correct?
Yes.
That's the idea. Okay. Agent Sage, you know where the body is stored because you watched it being put back in. You're familiar with cadavers and the proper use of them. They don't come in bags. They're just on a slab. So it's going to take you a second to get it in the bag. Unless Agent Hemlock wants to help you, which, if the two of you just want to say that you are doing this because it doesn't really matter too much, I would say if you spend too much time here, though, some people might come over in the area, maybe.
I will grab a mask as I run past them at the very least, and gloves, and help her with the body while looking around to see if I can't tell where the effects could be.
Sure. So it's not like you're going to put them in a blue bag, which is what bodies are normally transported in. You, in your haste, actually, one of you give me a search roll, please. And
I have nothing in search besides the regular 20, so...
Okay, I've got a little. I've got a little more.
Let's see. This is going to depend on what kind of item you can place this body in. So go ahead.
I only have a 40 in it, so we'll see.
That's okay.
That's better than my 20.
Okay, that's a 14.
Okay, so you do succeed. I will say it's not a critical, so you don't get the best outcome, but it's okay. You get a bag that has color to it, so you can't just see right through it. It is not a zip-up body bag or anything else like that. Now, what you do find is basically a fancy trash bag. But
it works.
You can't see through it. I will tell you, if you had failed, you would have had a see-through trash bag. If you had critically failed, you would have found nothing. So, you do succeed. You do have basically a trash bag. There is also some duct tape and things, so you can try to seal this up as best you can. I would say, are you the main one who's doing that, taking care of the body?
I am probably the one taking care of the body.
Okay.
I mean, I'm helping get it in the bag with my strength and my muscles.
I'm wearing gloves.
So I will say it's in the bag, which means that you need to seal it and things like that. Otherwise, the body's going to fall out. And if you don't properly seal it, there will be other things that come out of that bag too. So, yeah, you are in the process of doing this. Agent Hemlock, you wanted to find his effects or things like that. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. You are going to give me a search roll, please.
Because
this is a stressful situation.
Be on my side. It's 5.
A 5? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Under my 20.
You find the bag containing the contents of his stomach. You find it's less so effects because those would have been turned over.
Like anything that was pulled from the body.
Yes, there's samples and things like that. You find basically the drawer that has the samples and things from Deputy Jacob's body. So you can also throw those in a trash bag.
Got a second trash bag.
Yeah,
duct taping the shit out of that.
The one you find is less so one that you could fit a body. Like this one is literally just a trash can bag.
The little trash can. Yeah. But we got everything.
You jam all that in there. Do either of you have any computer science abilities?
No.
Or any criminology?
No.
Okay. Other than the base.
Yeah.
Whichever one of you is feeling especially spicy today, go ahead and roll me the criminology, please.
I'll do it. I'm feeling spicy.
I'm gonna let you do it.
94.
Hey, you got to get the fuck out of here.
We're booking it.
I'm just gonna roll for fun. Nope, that's an 80. It wouldn't have been any better.
All right.
So I've taken the smaller bag and put it in the bigger bag before she's finished sealing that up. Then we duct tape that closed, and then we're both carrying this body.
You gonna carry it out or wheel it?
Oh, there is gurneys. This is true.
Yes, there is ways. Okay. So it's heavy. You will be able to get it where you want it to go. You'd have to open the door to get it through the door, but you can at least get it to the door, I would say. So you are speedily doing this. The alarm is going off. You've started to draw the attention of people in the area. However, they initially were drawn because of the sound of gunshots. So they're not right there.
On the plus side, we have masks over our faces.
You do indeed, and driving a vehicle that has a license plate. So are you
I have an extra piece of duct tape that I slap over the license plate.
It's got a Montana exempt license plate.
Yeah. A Hawaii license plate.
British Columbia license plate.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're gonna are you throwing this body in the back, or what are you all doing? It's
I mean, we're not throwing, so it doesn't break the bag, but we're getting him in there hastily.
Yeah.
Okay. Agent Rosewater, you see an alert come across for break-in at County Coroner.
Can I shuffle that off?
No. Enough people have seen it at this point.
Okay.
It's a automated alarm system. So,
okay.
So they know that there has been a break-in.
Can I do anything about it from here? Like, can I don't know, get into any of their systems and maybe
the networks?
I don't know.
So I will say that the networks are not connected to each other because they are different entities. But what I will let you do, let's see. I will let you search the system to see if there is a basically something that would upload images. So assuming that this alarm, depending on how this alarm system in DVR is set up, because it is a government facility, it is entirely possible that it could be taking videos. If it detects movement when it's not supposed to, it might send those images off to law enforcement. Now, it could be sent off to local as well, but I will let you go ahead and let's use search for this too, because this is mostly you trying to find this. I won't make you do anything to roll for the computer aspect because I know you can do that, but I want to see if you can find it before somebody puts eyes on it. So go ahead and give me that search roll, please.
35 under 40.
Okay. You managed to find a couple of images that have been sent off. They're stills. I will say with your computer science abilities, you aren't going to be able to just straight up delete them because they're going to look for them and they should still be there. You can corrupt them though pretty quickly. So I won't make you roll for it because you were exceptionally good at this. So you managed to corrupt those images where they cannot immediately be accessed. So basically, if somebody wants to find out what happened with this, they're going to need to go to the location and access the surveillance footage.
Okay.
Or have access to it offsite. But again, regardless. So as that is all
added steps.
Yeah. As that is all going down, Agent Neem, I would say that Vice is driven with some amount of speed. Vice does not. You do hear the break-in notice, but the hostages take precedent over a break-in. So yeah, you get dropped off with Christina, and Deputy Vice says to you, can you please take her in there?
Yeah, sure. I've got this. You go save those lives.
Pretty much as soon as you say yeah, and you're in the middle of saying I've got this, he's already started off. This is one of those things that he needs to respond to immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So you have Christina with you. Christina is not going to fight you. You can lead her around. What would you like to do with her?
Great. I am going to bring her in and get her signed in for possible accidental overdose.
Okay. So you're going to the ER for accidental overdose. That is going to get them to respond very quickly to that. They are going to want to take down your information as you brought in the victim. Is that a thing you would like to give them, or give them the truth, or what do you want to do? Because this is your specialty of manipulating people. So what would you like to do?
I am going to give them a fake name and phone number.
Okay.
I'm assuming that
Do you keep
Delta
your
Green
badge
has
out?
like a couple of like, hey, zip up the jacket or tuck it under my shirt.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give them, just a fake name and number that is set up to go to the. Give this number out if you need someone to call and verify something for you.
It's fine. They mostly just have it for logistics purposes. You're not family, which you tell them. I'm not going to make you role play out talking to them. You are exceptionally good at this. So pretty much you can tell me whatever you want them to think.
Yeah. I, concerned citizen. I went to pay my respects. She seems really bad.
Okay.
And luckily, y'all are close.
Absolutely. So they do take her pretty much immediately. With the fact that you've come in and said that she is an overdose, they are going to need to get her immediately into care, with the assumption that she is at risk. All right. So you have successfully taken Christina to this hospital. I will say the biggest things that I want you to notice with this hospital, now that you've had a moment and you have Christina and the smell, that black mold smell kind of is dissipated a little bit. Hospital is very, very busy today. You can see a variety of people waiting in the ER. You hear people coughing, people that are groaning. It's very clear that they are seeing people based on severity. And if you've been in one hospital waiting room, you've probably been in all of them, so you know what I'm talking about, and the noise and everything else. You see the employees running around, some nurses checking on people and things like that. But what would you like to do now?
I am going to text the group and say, hey, I'm at the hospital, swing by and pick me up when you
on our way.
When you
Sure.
can. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go check on the coroner.
Sure.
And just see if he's been admitted or if he's, basically I know that I won't be able to get in and see them because once again, I'm not family, but is he admitted? Is he in the ICU? Is he just in the back somewhere on a bed before, they set him up with an ID before they send him, kick him out and send him home?
Okay, so are you asking the people at the desk in the ER this, or are you just going to more general admission area when you're doing this?
I'm gonna go to general admission.
Okay, so when you go over there, you do see there is a younger man sitting behind the desk. Again, you were not portraying your authority here at this point because you don't have your badge out or anything else like that. If that changes, let me know. But you see this younger man says, yes, can I help you?
Yes, I was sent to, you know how it is, the sheriff's department, and Terry over there sent me to check on the coroner because we heard that he was feeling mighty poorly this morning. But he was supposed to meet with some, federal people.
Okay. Are you related to this individual?
I am not.
Okay.
I understand if I can't go back there. I am just trying to find out if y'all admitted him or if he just came in and he was super hungover. Just between you and me, I would never want to spread rumors.
So I will say this, you are quite good at persuasion. I would say that the situation is not one in which you find yourself and which you find it to be a stressful situation. However, I would still like you to roll it because I would like to see how well you succeed, which depends on what you get. So go ahead and roll, please.
That's a 7.
7. Okay. So with that, you can tell that this guy is softening a bit. Now, what piece of information are you wanting to get at? What's the one thing that you want to know, basically?
I want to know how bad off he is right now.
Sure. So with your persuasiveness, I will say that he is going to give you this information. how are you kind of coaxing it out of him is mostly my question. Like, what sort of thing are you getting him to tell you this? Like, how?
I am going to say it's more like a, if you could just, let me know if he is really, really bad off. And that way we can cover for him over at the station. Because otherwise, you know how the sheriff gets and the EPA people are in town. And so he wants to put on a good face. And he was foaming at the mouth this morning.
So
I just don't want him to get in trouble.
Okay. So you see the young man definitely is taken by your call, like feels sympathetic towards you in this. And especially with your human being as high as it is, you can definitely read people and you could read his defenses coming down. He says, "Oh, I totally understand. I can't let you see him. I can tell you that he's admitted himself earlier today. He had flu-like symptoms at the time that he came to the desk, but that's about as much as I know."
Okay, but he is like admitted and he's here and
correct. He is being
he's checked in.
Correct.
No, that's a hotel.
He says, yes, he is being cared. There is people taking care of him.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I'll have Terry send something around for you later.
He gives you a nod. So yeah, you now know that the coroner is at this location. You do know that he was admitted with flu-like symptoms. I would say they would have to be quite severe to get them to take him back, but that is a thing that you could do. So
yep, and it's not yet bad enough that he is ICU at death's door, that kind of like.
Well, yeah, you're not really sure how long in the process he is because the front desk worker wouldn't know. They don't have access to his charts. They know he's there, and they know the manner at which he checked in because it's written down in their logs. So yeah, that's the info that you find, and I am going to have us flip back to Agent Hemlock and Agent Sage, who are attempting to throw this yard waste bag filled with a person in the back of the car, I think. So, Agent Hemlock and Agent Sage, you have managed to wheel that gurney to the door. You can't, like, force it through it without opening it, which you would need to unlock it and everything else, but are you even going to waste time with doing that?
I'm gonna lift up my end and just, like, lift it over the little metal bit at the bottom and just get it out.
Okay. So, these things are pretty heavy. Let's see if you can manage to actually do that. So go ahead and give me a strength roll, please. So it should be
and I have to roll under the ×5? Okay.
Yes, roll under the ×5.
That is a 47 under 60.
Wonderful. You do manage to lift it over. Agent Sage, are you very strong?
Like a 50-50 chance that I can do this.
I will say that these are... So, the gurneys are quite heavy, and it has a body on it. So, what is... I will say that now that you've gotten the first part of it through, it'll be a little bit easier, so I will let you roll strength to see if you can actually get it up over the door entry here, because you do have Agent Hemlock yanking from the other side.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a strength ×5, please, and let's see if you manage to get this gurney out, or if you are just going to get stuck, or what you're going to do.
The whole time this is happening, Sage is just like, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Jacobs. I'm so sorry, Mr. Jacobs." That's a crit success. That's
Excellent.
an 11.
All right. Yeah, so you lift this thing up and clear it, and also you get the benefit of not having to be slowed down by the glass. So you do manage to wheel this thing over to the car, with not as many people seeing you because of your critical success in getting this a speedy getaway, or rather speedy get out of the door. So you have the body, you've reached the car. Are you throwing it in the back, in the front seats, in
Trunk? The trunk?
Well, it's an SUV, so it's in the back, and like I'm sure at being an SUV, there's some tie downs so we can keep him secure.
Sure. So you're gonna throw him in there, and yeah. Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and throw Deputy Jacobs. Well, the yard bag filled with Deputy Jacobs in the back of the SUV. And you seem to have made it away. Nobody stopped you, at least not that you can see. You did leave a gurney in the middle of the parking lot, but it would kind of be a pain in the ass and kind of no point at this time, really, to take it back. But you now have the body.
I'm speeding, not speeding over the speed limit, but speeding towards.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult. I think it'll be a little bit difficult to explain to the Helena PD why you have a corpse in the back of your car. But
actually, with how it's laid out, is it faster to stop and get Rosewater first, or stop and get Neem first? Because we're probably still going to want Rosewater with us for the drop.
So the coroner's office isn't that far away from the sheriff's department, so you can go get Rosewater first. Would be if you were asking about what's closer.
Yeah. So I'll text Rosewater and be like, if you think you're needed for the drop, let me know now so I can pick you up before I head for Neem.
I think there's probably a, yeah, I guess I should go to that. Should probably have all hands on deck for that because we know it's really close to someone's house. And I can at least help out with the something. So it'd be like, reply being like, yeah, I'll go.
Stop at the sheriff's station, pick up Rosewater, head for the hospital, and then plug in the nav into my phone for getting to the location.
I would say that this is a bit of a stressful drive for you, if that is a fair assessment,
yes.
At least at this point. Go ahead and give me a drive check to see if you actually draw attention to yourself in this car.
Hey, at least I actually took drive, so... The drive's not too bad. That's an 18!
Okay. So,
my dice like me tonight.
So you managed to drive in a manner that does not say, I have a body in my trunk right now. So the people that pass you by aren't going to immediately call the cops on you for driving like an asshole. So, yeah. You managed to drive off. Now, Agent Rosewater, you have not that much time. A few minutes. What are you going to do?
I would, look, if Terry is still hanging around, I would be like, like, oh, it's been great chatting. Unfortunately, I'm needed in the field for something.
Oh, wait, could I get you like your number or something, or some way to stay in touch?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So do you have a real number or a fake one?
Well, I've got the two phones.
This is true. Although it might be a bit awkward. You know what? No, it might be funny to have the IT guy from the sheriff's department calling a government line. Like, it's fine.
It's fine. At least they can let him down gently.
Okay. So you're gonna give him you're gonna give him a real number?
I'll give him a real number. It's
okay,
good.
Cool.
Yep.
It has your burner phone number.
Yep.
He seems pleased. As yeah, so you have given Terry this information. Have you actually told anybody why you're leaving? Granted, a lot of the people that were in the station who would probably stop you are gone. But there are people at the front desk. Maybe as you're walking out, it'll be like, Agent Rosewater, do you need something?
Gotta reconvene with the rest of the group, figure out what our next plan is,
Okay, sure. I'll just let the sheriff know when he comes back that you've headed out. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be back at some point.
Okay. So you have been seen leaving the sheriff's office. And Agent Hemlock and Agent Sage, are you going to try and pull up and pick up Agent Rosewater?
Maybe I can meet you down the street.
That might be more. Well, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
I pull up just cool as a cucumber.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. There's nothing strange in this car.
I was going to say our real players are not very adapted to criminal activities. No,
I'm in shotgun though.
You're yeah.
Not for long.
Yeah. As you open the door to get in the car, it's not been that long that you would
But it's not
notice.
pleasant.
No, there's definitely a smell in here. And I'm not going to, because we didn't put any warning about this, but there are smells of preservatives and cleaning agents and things like that you don't know what these are from, because unless you were training to be a mortician at some point, you wouldn't know.
That's a
Smells
different
weird.
character.
Smells weird. You get in the car. Are you going to look in the trunk?
Nope.
Okay.
I know that they needed to steal the body. I've got that.
You do
So
know,
I can
but
guess what's in the trunk, and I'm just gonna do the thing where I have a hoodie and I just pull it up.
yeah, it might be a little bit jarring to see the manner at which you would retrieve the body. But, as I said before, it's basically a yard waste black trash bag that they have stuffed this thing into. It's not like laid out like a person. It's kind of, it looks weird, but regardless, yes, you have gotten Agent Rosewater. Agent Neem, you were told that you were going to be picked up, correct? I believe. Okay. Where do you wait for everybody? Are you going to wait at the intake area of the hospital? Are you going to try to walk away a little bit?
I'm gonna go like half a block down or whatever.
Sure. So you find, I would say you've got enough time with the distance between the two locations. You find a little like coffee shop or something like that. It's called like the Tana Roasters or something like that. They cut out the Mon portion of the state's name. It's just the Tana Roasters. You have no clue if it's good or not, but it's there. Looks like there's some high school kid working there.
Fantastic. Are they the kind of coffee shop that is like trying to be the Starbucks level, or are they trying to not be the 7-Eleven?
They are definitely trying to not be the 7-Eleven. We're talking, if you were to actually go inside, it looks like this used to be like a loan office or something for the way that it's laid out, that has been converted into a small coffee shop. You can definitely see through the window because the windows are cleared of any signage or anything else. It's designed to make it so it looks appealing for people inside drinking their coffee. Now, how many people are doing that at this point? Not really. There's not that many, but yeah. Looks like they have muffins and things and some coffee. You're not really sure how old the muffins are. There's some questionable looking bagels in a glass dish that's covered with, like how coffee shops like to use those things that you keep preserved cakes in, like the whole glass cloche that you put over the top of it or whatever. Yeah, it's like that, but it has bagels in it. Are you going to go inside and try to chat up this high schooler?
No. If it was like a Starbucks-esque place, I would have gone in and gotten another couple of like bottles of water or whatever, that kind of deal. But I'm not going in there. I don't know where any of that has been. I will interject to say I feel super called out about the bagels under the cloche thing because that's the thing the show has done.
It works for it looks nice. I will give
Which
you
is
that.
really the only point.
Exactly. I also don't know. Let's see, 2017. I'm wondering if this kid would look at you and then under their breath just go like cringe or something like that, seeing you wait out there just staring in at things.
I don't think, I think I take a look and then I'm like, cool. I'm like, okay, I'll be at the Tana Roasters. And then I look, I'll be around the side of the Tana Roasters. And I keep walking. I don't want to give anyone any reason to notice me any more than they already have. And since I'm now carrying two separate identities in this city.
Yeah, Yeah, might get a little bit hairy, but that's okay. That's a future you problem. All right, so now you have a much more pressing issue that is, rotting away in the back of the car.
I was going to say that's sitting in my seat, but
yeah. Oh, that's true too. Yeah, the car pulls up, and the first thing you see is Agent Sage, just in her hoodie, staring at you like, "What?" Are you going to open the door, Agent Sage, or are you going to try and willpower it through?
Lock the front door.
And I'm just going to smile real wide. And it's like, we can do this way. Or I can pull you through the center of those seats into the back, and we can trade that way.
Agent Sage opens the door and goes to the back seat.
Are you going to go over the center console in the front, or are you going to actually get out of the car? And
I think I'm actually going to go over the center console because I'm afraid.
Sure. So yeah, you see Agent Sage just awkwardly climb over the center console, probably trip over Agent Rosewater, who's in a ball.
Oh, sorry.
And
Yes.
noticing that she didn't unlock the door,
Yeah, exactly.
Agent Hemlock will hit the button.
Sure. So you do unlock the door. Everybody is now seated. What would you like to do now that you are all in the vehicle and you have your prize, we'll call it?
Is there any, like, obviously the smell of chemical, like cleaning chemicals and coroner business is coming, like, through pretty strongly. But do I get any sense of the black mold?
No, the smell. So the smell of agents used to preserve bodies and clean bodies is very, very, very strong. Also, they basically bleached it. So anything that was inside, like, they already emptied the stuff that was important and took samples of the things that were important. It's assumed that the body would decay to make those items not cleaning the body wouldn't serve much purpose. So it has been cleaned. You don't smell the black mold, but you definitely smell the cleaning agents and the preservatives.
No, yeah, I'm rolling that window down.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So you have your body and you have all of you. Where would you like to go to the green box? Would you like to go back to the station? What would you like to do?
Immediately going to the green box. Are you kidding?
Sure. So I will say it's a bit of a drive. More of you might want to roll your windows down because the only thing that really keeps the bodies in the state that they're in is the refrigeration.
Yeah, once we're like away and out of the city, we're definitely rolling my window down.
I will say that the distance between the green box and Helena is not too far, so we're not talking hours here, but a decent chunk of time that smell starts to creep through. But you do drive to where you know the location of the drop to be. You have it. It was given to you at the start of the mission. It is in the woods, so you're driving along a road that has probably seen some better days. As you're driving along, you see the trees, you see houses on occasion. Getting closer to the location, you do notice that there is a white pickup truck that is off to the side of the road. It has its door open, which is weird, but realistically, I don't know that any of you would pay that much mind. And you do see the beautiful Montana with the rolling hills and things like that sign as you pass by this. And I will say you are going to make a few more turns on some dirt roads and things like that. Is there anything that you all would like to do? There are some houses and things like that before you reach the location, but do you just want to get there, or what are you thinking of doing here?
I'm probably just heading in as straight a line as possible to get to it because the smell is horrid.
Sure. So, speeding along, you do get to where the road ends. So you are going to have a little bit of a walk, not too far. I would say about a mile or about half to 3/4 of a mile into the woods. Taking a look at your surroundings, you smell basically just smell of lack of pollution. There's forests around you. You can hear it's a little bit early in the year for a lot of bird song, but you do definitely smell the dirt, smell the foliage, things like that. You see the deep woods in front of you. The other thing that I would call to your attention that you would notice is that there is a house a little bit off to the left from the road from where you pulled up. There's a porch. There's nobody sitting on it. There's a rocking chair there. You don't immediately see anyone at this house, but there is a house there.
Agent Rosewater.
Do we need to retcon that we stopped by like a Walmart and picked up a metal detector?
I would say, so for that, I would say that you probably did acquire one over the period of time. That's fine.
Okay.
I would say it was one of your items that was given to you immediately to do, and you all did do a shopping thing earlier on, so you would have acquired it at some point. But that's fine. But I will say, as you are taking, and correct me if I'm wrong, are you carrying the body back to
I mean,
the
we're
location?
supposed to drop it at the grade box.
You are.
Does this house have a shed that might have a wheelbarrow in it?
If you would like to go check, I can let you do so. So are you going to go over and do that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So as you approach the house, you see that there is a sign out in the front that says the Youngkins. Again, you don't see anybody on the porch. I will also say you do see that there is a screen door, but there is a larger door behind, which is currently open. You don't hear any sounds from inside, but you do see that door is open. However, you don't need to go through the house to get to where the backyard is with the shed and everything else. Would you like to proceed?
Yes.
Okay. So, are you going to go through the house, which would take you to the backyard, or would you like to go around the side and find a way either over or through the fence?
Around the side.
Okay. So going around the side, you again don't hear the sounds of any people. The fence that you find is not super tall or anything like that. I will say that for the sake of expediency, you do find a way through. You can kind of lift over and click the latch, which opens up. It opens up to a backyard that has probably seen some better days. It's overgrown. There's a few raised bed planters in the back that maybe at one point had the intention of growing food, but now just grow weeds. The things that I would like you to notice here is, again, don't hear anyone. You also see the signs that somebody was working back here, but it looks like they just dropped everything.
Okay.
This
isn't suspicious as fuck or anything.
You're going to go over to the shed?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to keep an ear out and,
sure.
Try to not get jump scared. But, but we still have a body that I'm not carrying anywhere.
That's fair. So you reach the shed, you open it up, and let's go ahead and give me a luck roll, please. So you're going to roll a die. You want to get under 50%, please. What'd you get?
47.
Okay, you find a wheelbarrow. It's not super big, and the tire is somewhat flat, but it is there. Are you going to take it?
Yes.
Okay. When you wheel it out, you didn't notice this before, and I will say maybe there's a bit of nostalgia as you're smelling the gasoline and the oil and things like that as you're pulling this wheelbarrow out. You smell the metal and everything else. You do notice that there are some pockmarks that with your experience you would recognize as bullet holes on the side of the shed. Now, that wouldn't be that weird to you. People shoot at stuff sometimes. The thing that's odd is these look fairly new. There's no weathering to them. It's just hole with pretty bare looking wood. There's not a ton of them. There's about 3 or 4. There are definitely bullet holes in the shed.
I think we're kind of far out. It wouldn't be unheard of for people to set up some cans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you drink a 6-pack, you set the cans up, but you drank the 6-pack.
Or maybe shooting at some raccoons or something, you know, some varmints, whatever.
I mean,
okay.
You know, my mother once asked me to buy her a catapult for Christmas to deal with squirrels. So,
So
I don't think she actually meant catapult, but is what she said.
I mean, it's all good. You got the context. All right, so you do have your wheelbarrow, and you start wheeling it back towards the car. I will say you do hear shuffling inside. You don't see anybody as you're taking that wheelbarrow out, but you do definitely hear movement. Would you like to proceed? What would you like to do?
I'm going to pick up the pace.
Okay. So, yeah, you rush off. You don't hear anybody yelling after you, but everybody else, Agent Neem has produced a wheelbarrow. It's rusted. It's not that big, but it'll
As she
help.
comes up
It'll
with
definitely
it and didn't tell anybody what she was going off to do, Hemlock is absolutely trying to rig up a system with the tie downs to try and fireman carry this thing behind her.
I am just sitting in the van, like kind of like the doors open. I'm kind of like sitting, looking out, looking thoroughly out of my element.
I'm just gonna. It's like, it's a piece of shit, but
it's better than what I was doing, and just offloads the body onto the wheelbarrow.
I will say, to get through the woods, because the tire is partially flat, 3 of you will need to basically be in attendance. 1 person to pick it up and push it, and 2 others to keep the thing upright. Also, Agent Rosewater, Agent Sage, are you still in the car too?
I believe that Agent Sage is trying to help as much as possible.
Sure.
I'll volunteer to do the metal detecting.
Well, Agent Rosewater, I was going to say the biggest thing that I want you to notice, since you're still in the car, is the body's out, but the smell is not. And you probably won't go away for some time.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You're completing the mission. So,
I probably have a knife on me, and just to be safe, am cutting up the carpet at the back for anything that might have leaked out, so that we have no contaminants in the SUV.
What kind of knife are we talking about?
Just like a pocket knife, but she keeps it pretty sharp.
Okay. I'll ask this. Is Agent Hemlock the kind of person that goes to an outdoor store and buys the full multi-tool knife, like the whole Gerber multi-tool thing? Or do you go and get the lock blade that's got like the faux ivory handle and all that crap to it? Looks like it's probably fancy. A hunting knife.
It's definitely like this setup where it's just got the metal casing, because yes, I do have a knife just sitting next to it.
That's fine.
But it's got like the metal casing, and it's probably like it fits in her pocket, but it's not small.
Okay. So it's not illegal. It's not oversized. Okay. It's not for anything with mechanically. I was just more so trying to learn more about Agent Hemlock. So, okay. I got it now. So yeah, you, everybody else, you witness Agent Hemlock just slice up the carpet on the back of the car. Which you do take off. However, there's padding and things underneath. So
does it appear like anything has leaked through the carpet onto anything beneath? If not, just take the carpet.
You wouldn't really be able to tell. So
carpet is good enough.
Not without thorough inspection. All right. So you have cut up the carpet. As I said, it's not the most elegant thing to get this body back there, as well as all of the other things that you have to take. But yeah, so are you going to begin your trek over the garden wall and into the woods? Yes?
Yes.
Into the woods.
Okay.
To grandmother's house we go.
So as our
it's to find the green box.
As our agents head into the woods, I think that this is an excellent time for all of us to take a quick break. So everybody, we will be back very shortly to continue our story. See you soon. Bye. Welcome back, friends. We are back from our break, and we are going to step back into our story. So when last we left off, our agents were wheeling their shoddy wheelbarrow full of, well, person back towards the location of the green box. I believe everybody except for Agent Rosewater was on attendance of the wheelbarrow. So
I've got the other important job, the metal detector.
And it is a very important job, and it would be even more important if the door wasn't already wide open in the middle of the woods.
Found it.
Well, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to, unholster my weapon.
Same. I'm gonna set the wheelbarrow down because I'm sure I'm the one pushing it. And pull my service pistol, and Neem and I'll make our way forward at least.
Yep.
Sure. And what I will say is you hear the crunch of the sticks and things along the ground as you walk towards. And as far as the type of scene that we're in, we are deep in the woods here. The smells that permeate the air are just that dirt, rot, foliage, everything else you can think of. You don't smell anything you would consider to be off, either of you having your backgrounds in violence. You don't smell any gunpowder or have any reason to believe that any rounds have been expended back here. But you do walk up. You do see that the door is open. As you get closer, it starts to come together as far as what this is. This is a little fallout shelter, probably for the size of a small family. So it's not very, very big. And you can't see all the way inside yet because you have to go into it. But taking a look, it looks like it's not that big of a structure. You don't immediately see anybody outside either.
I'll kind of gesture to Neem that I'll go in, cover me.
Okay. Cover. I'm assuming we have access to a flashlight. Yes, no?
Mm-hmm. You would have a tack light base. Well, Hemlock might have a tack light that's mounted to their gun. You would probably have a mag light or something. So, yes, you have a light source.
I do go in as far as I can without the light source to not give away my position.
It's not very far. I will say it's the little bit later in the afternoon, not quite dark yet. But you don't make it very far before you would need the light. Now, stepping in here, being that you are experienced in such things, you do clear the room as best you can. You don't hear any movement down here. Really, the only things that you can smell are musty smells, old paper, old leather and things. Just a whole bunch of... You're not really sure what else is in here, but none of the smells would immediately register as being alarming to you. Of course, it's about to smell a whole lot different.
Are there any other doorways or anything that... any place anybody could be hiding?
Not that you can see without your light source.
I turn on the light. And like I said, I turn on the light when I need it.
Sure.
I just try to get as far in as I can without needing it.
Like I said, the room's not very big. This is a fallout shelter made for a small family. Panning the light around, I would say that think of this as like a little bit of a larger storage unit, basically, is the best way for me to describe how big this is. And much like a storage unit, it is filled with crap. If you're immediately looking for an exit, you don't see one. The way you came in is presumably the way out. I will say, taking a look over everything, not in depth, but just at a glance, you see a whole bunch of boxes. There's folders, there's files. There appears to be... it looks like a rocket, like one that you would use from a shoulder, like from a launcher.
Agent Hemlock, I fucks that a little bit.
So what's your military ground science at?
40.
Okay, so you wouldn't know the specifics of this thing. I will let you roll, though. So go ahead and roll, please.
Nope. Nope, I don't know shit. That's a 93.
Yeah, at a glance, it's a fucking rocket. You can get closer to it and read it, but if you're just trying to glance at it, it looks like a rocket. You
right
may
now
not have,
I'm clearing the room and making sure that everybody
Yeah.
can go in safely.
given your line of work, you may or may not have seen one of these things. But again, you don't recognize it immediately. There's also a large piece of stone in here. There is just, again, some old metal shelves just filled with various trinkets and crap. It's, you don't see any people, though, if that's what you're looking for. You also see a few boxes that probably contain ammunition or ordnance or something. They are built like stronger wooden boxes. But again, you
I
need to
lower
get
my
closer to
weapon
them.
and call back to Neem. Clear.
Okay. I'm gonna come in with my weapon at low ready and,
Sure.
light up and
Are you
just
gonna-
make sure.
Are you going to leave the nerds outside with the body?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep an eye out. Keep your ears open.
All
Don't
right.
get snuck up on.
Yell if you need us.
Agent Sage, what does being back here in the woods remind you of? Like, what is, does this harken back to something from your childhood?
It's reminding her of her, like, the yearly camping trips her family would take in, like, their really beat up old RV.
Mhm.
And so she's just like, this is really nice.
Mhm.
Except for the body, the Bago Fred.
Mhm. And you're trying to block that on your memory. You remember
Yeah.
fishing, open chest cavity, roasting marshmallows over the fire. The fact that Fred doesn't have eyes anymore. It's okay. You are definitely doing a good job of coping, I would say. Agent Rosewater, you're probably pretty out of your element here. You're in the woods. You're not near anything remotely electronic. You
I
probably
remember.
didn't wear proper shoes for this either.
I'm wearing a pair of Converse.
Yeah, you're fucked. There's definitely mud in there. Like you,
Ugh.
yeah, this is gonna be a bad time. You're gonna take your
Bad
socks
time.
off. You're gonna take your shoes off, and your socks are gonna have those brown stains for where the holes are in the Converse.
Mhm,
Yeah, that's exactly what the
I'm
But-
just thinking of the one time Simon suggested camping, and how bad that weekend went.
exactly. And now you've got an even worse story, maybe. But this is pretty bad in the spectrum of shitty camping trips. I'm sure people might have had worse, but I don't know how many involved dead bodies. But there's
More than
one.
I'd probably expect.
I'm sure you would be quite surprised. But anyway, we'll go back to our agents inside of the location. So you come in and Agent Neem, you see much of the same. Do you have any sort of military sciences abilities?
Nope.
Okay, that's okay.
I
A lot of crap.
I mean, I've got some criminology. I've got 50 in demolitions.
I mean that will become relevant. So taking a look around, are the two of you going to start to search through here or kind of look through and see if there's anything that's been disturbed, or what do you want to do?
As soon as we see that there's no threat, I'll go
Mhm.
back out and help pull wheelbarrow Fred in.
Okay.
Fred.
So,
I'm
Agent-
gonna,
Mhm.
before they come in and start fucking with shit,
Sure.
I'm gonna see if I can't tell if anything's been disturbed or.
Sure. So taking a look around, the things that draw your eyes immediately are number one, the rocket, because it's kind of hard to avoid that, just as a rule. You do see something, though, that you recognize. You see a box of thermite grenades. Not really sure how old they are, but you can definitely tell by their read on the side that that's what they fucking are. Again, these particular devices, which you would know, are mostly used for demolition. So they are not the type of grenade that you would throw into like a group of people. This is one that you would pop, set down on something, and then it would just burn through it. So, but
That
you,
is so
Thermite is a
handy.
bitch.
yeah, this is one of those things that you pop, throw in an engine block, close, and then that car doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but as I said, you do recognize that. You do see a whole lot of just papers and old trinkets and things that you're not sure of, dog tags, stones. I would say with your search, given the time to search, you would see that there is a tape recorder, and it's open, and next to it is a case that looks like it used to house a tape. The reason why those are important here is they don't have dust on them. So if you would like to go up and look at it, you can, or you can just leave it there.
No, I want to go look at it.
Okay.
I dislike the idea that anything has been disturbed at all in this place. Sure. And it weirds me out that if somebody came in here, they didn't take the grenades.
It does seem a little... Well, I guess it would depend on what they were... maybe think they're capable of using. But you do
Everybody
find...
thinks they're capable of using a grenade. That's the problem with modern media.
It's very true, and it's very, very hard to use. They would probably blow themselves up before they posed a threat to much anybody else. So you find this tape, and it has the label of Star People recording from Devil's Tower. And the tape is nowhere to be found.
I'm going to make a note of that, and then set the grenades aside for us to take back out with us. And because I know Hemlock, from this very short amount of time, will be very excited. Also, it's just considering how things have gone this afternoon, it will be really nice to be able to incapacitate some cars.
Mm-hmm. I would say as you pick up the box of thermite grenades, you also, another box falls. This one is fragmentation grenades. This box is empty though.
Okay, this makes more sense then. As a problem.
Oh, I should also mention that thermite can be used underwater. It's an important piece of information. So you have your spoils, your box of thermite grenades, and your little case. Does anybody else come down here?
I mean, I'm trying to get the body down in the wheelbarrow, probably by myself, because I don't think either of the other two are going to try and come in here.
So to save you the time, I will tell you you really can't be that graceful. And this would probably startle Agent Neem as this bag just onto the floor.
The body absolutely falls down the stairs.
Yeah, well, that's how you would... That's the only way you could really effectively get it down there. There's no way in hell you're going to take the time to wheelbarrow that crap down there. You'd have to create a system to do it. And, Fred's dead, so...
Drop dead Fred.
I mean, a green box is a place where you stash things that need to not be out there in the world.
Now the question is, does this bag break open as it goes down the stairs?
It probably gets scuffed up a little bit, but as far as the threat that anything that was Fred would pose, Fred has been in the coroner's office and has been properly taken care of, so he's not going to suddenly develop start bloating or anything else. He might smell, and it definitely will have some liquid, but not the degree that just if you took somebody who had been dead for 4 days and put them in a bag. So the bag probably gets scratched open, but again, you were told to put it here. You put it here. You probably just leave it at the bottom.
It's on the floor. Stairs. That's where I'm leaving it, and exactly. I'll walk over to Neem.
I will say, as you dump that body, one of the things that you notice, would you say that either Agent Hemlock or Agent Neem has a lot of experience with power tools?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
She works on houses. Her side business is probably flipping houses.
So you see... Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, outside of, that time I got embedded in a cult and they, made you build your own shelter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then both of you might recognize this item, at least in function. You see a Sawzall. Now, not really that important, but the thing I will call for importance, and Agent Hemlock, you'll notice this more so, as you see that there are blades for cutting wood, as you would normally. There are blades for cutting rock, because they look different. And you see a blade that would be used for butchering game.
I was going to say, please give me a bone saw.
Yeah, so, and for everybody, you can buy blades that are used for game for sawzalls. It's a completely normal thing. But yes, so you see that.
Deer are really big.
They are, and they're really hard to disassemble.
I have helped butcher a deer before, so I can confirm.
And the thing that's leaning up next to that is an Agent Hemlock, you would recognize this more readily. A set of body armor in desert camo. So, yeah, that's there too.
I'm not really sure we're gonna need the body armor, but I want the body armor.
We're not coming back here unless we have to. So if you want it, now's the time to take it.
You gonna go look at it?
I'll go look at it. I might not take it depending on how heavy it is, even with the wheelbarrow.
Sure. Picking it up, you are familiar with how body armor works. Body armor is not like a solid suit that you strap up. Typically, military grade body armor is just bags that you shove plates into. Plates ain't in there. What you find in there instead is books. There are 2 hardback copies of Peter Hamilton's novel, The Neutronium Alchemist. So they're pretty thick, pretty sturdy. Gameplay-wise, you could use these as body armor once. So, but if you'd like to,
giggle and go back over to the bone saw.
Sure. And probably when you, Agent Neem, you would notice as Agent Hemlock is walking towards the body armor, you see that there are 3 glass bottles that have corrosive warding labels on them. So you can leave them. You don't need to take them, but they are there.
I feel like carrying around bottles of acid is more trouble than it's worth. But it's good to know that they're here if worst comes to worst.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe whoever, if anyone, comes back here, they can use them on Fred.
Yeah, you're
Agent
not really
Hemlock
sure.
is going to be really sad they didn't take anything in heavy weapons as they walk past that grenade tree.
I will say that when you get closer, because you eyed it earlier, the rocket that you find is labeled because it's military equipment. Most of it's labeled. It would register to you as a law rocket, which is a I can't remember exactly what that stands for. I'm gonna look that up.
Long aerial warhead, I think.
No, because they use a light anti-armor weapon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. These are more ground things. The ones that they use
Gotcha.
for air are stingers. All right.
I just took a random guess.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're not going to go mega weapon nerd into this. All right. So you get a little bit of a closer look at that rocket, and you can see that this is a law rocket, which law stands for light anti-armor weapon. So this is an anti-tank rocket. You don't see the launcher anywhere, but you do see a rocket.
Oh. It's so good without the launcher. She'll walk.
You'd have to have a lot of skills and explosives to be able to wire that thing up to blow up without its launcher.
Yeah,
you could do it, but you might blow yourself up.
It's not worth. Yeah, it's not worth the hassle.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's everybody thinks they know how to use a grenade, and then there's oh yeah, sure, I know how to use this rocket without a launcher.
Yeah, I can wire up a piece of ordnance that's supposed to be able to go through a tank. Why not?
And not kill myself in the process.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So you've got a quick look over. You can keep going deeper into the green box if you would like, but you have found the things that are immediately noticeable and the things that have been disturbed.
I'm not real the smarts of this group, but I will go over and look at the papers and just see if, at a browsing glance, anything rings true for what's currently happening.
Okay, so you start looking through the papers. You can find a journal about the Star People recording. It's not really that it doesn't have that much of an explanation to it. It mostly is just telling you that the source and how there is local folklore around it. But all of those thoughts and all of those figurings are kind of cut short here as, let's see. Agent Rosewater.
Yes.
Hold on. What are you thinking about in this moment? As you're standing outside.
I am sort of thinking about just like, wow, how many crimes I've done today. Yes. And probably just sort of thinking about, okay, gonna need to kind of taking like a mental catalog of like, okay, I'm gonna need to make sure all of these files go missing, you know, I'm gonna need to
I will tell you that the thing that kicks into your head now is not so much worrying about the things that you're going to have to do. It's going to be finding the nearest piece of cover you possibly can while still being on your belly, because you have 3 rounds that fly past your head.
Oh, Jesus. Yep. I mean, are there big... Because I imagine I'm standing, like, near where the... Like, are there big, wide open doors?
So the way that these terrain is kind of is there are tree trunks. There's a couple fallen trees and things like that. The shelter is not above ground. Most of it's under the ground. So it's just a door that's open, but it's a single door that is swung open. One person could probably file through it.
Is it perpendicular or is it...
It's just
the
kind of
wheelbarrow
like,
is probably still at the top too.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, it looks like with the way it is, it's in an angle because it would have been covered up with stuff before you got here. It's metal, but it's not, if you're trying to get behind it, that ain't going to work. If you are immediately looking for things that you can get to, you're going to be able to hide behind a tree.
Yep, tree it is.
Okay. Agent Sage, you are the other one who's outside, and you,
Yes, I am.
Yep, you did not just get shot at, but you definitely registered rounds. Did either of you bring guns?
No.
Okay.
I think I have mine, just in case. Not very good with it.
I don't use gun, so.
Agent Sage, what is your immediate response to in this situation? What do you think your response is?
I think it's just like, what? Like, kind of ducking down and then seeing Rosewater run for cover behind a tree. Sage is like, I should probably do that.
Sure. So it does take a moment to register. You've never been in a gunfight, it's fair to say. So you're not really sure what to do. But you are the first person who gets to see what is shooting at you. Walking towards you, not really at this point, isn't trying to take cover, is a man in khaki pants, a blue shirt, has a it looks like they had a scarf that would normally go over their face, but it's just around their neck. This is, from what you can tell, this is probably a mid-40s white guy. But the thing that you would immediately register as being more of a problem is the fact that they are stone-faced at the moment and carrying a Remington carbine, that is a not a small gun, and is firing that off at you all. So you are going to run for cover. For the two of you, I would like both of you to make stability tests, please, because you are in a violent situation.
65 under 84.
Cool.
45 under 55.
Okay, you both lose 2. So you are going to lose 2 of your stability, as neither of you, as fair as I can assume anyway, and correct me if I'm wrong, have been shot at.
No, never.
Yeah. But you at least know the most important thing, which is to get behind something solid as quickly as possible. So, all right, the two of you are taking cover. Agent Neem, Agent Hemlock, you just heard shots ring out. Agent Hemlock, you would register this as a carbine or rifle. It doesn't sound like a pistol. Probably both of you would. You have a decent firearms rating. Is that correct, Agent Neem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Both of you would register this as either a rifle or something close to it.
Hemlock is going to like duck down and run up the stairs until she gets closer to the top, and then gonna like army crawl to kind of peek up really quickly to see if this person is in her field of vision to try and take aim at.
So I will say that you can, are you trying to use the shelter as cover? Because like you can head up the stairs and kind of put the half of your body sort of thing, you know, where it's covered.
Yeah. Like,
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm...
That's fine. I will tell you when you do that, Agent Neem can't shoot over you. So this is a one-way entry. But that's fine because you don't immediately know.
Right now I'm trying to like see if I can see him and shoot at him. If not, I'm going to try and get out and locate him.
Okay, so he's not hard to miss. He is slowly walking towards, and he's just firing at the log that Agent Rosewater is hidden behind.
I'm going to take a shot back.
Okay. So in this scenario, I would say that... Let's go ahead and have you... He's not immediately seeking cover, so go ahead and roll me your firearms, please.
That is a 20 under 60.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your D10 for damage, please.
That's an 8.
8. It's pretty good. Okay. So you fire off a couple rounds out of your pistol. You see those hit center mass. Normally, now, has Agent Hemlock shot people before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You know that when people get shot, they react. They usually will, depending on how the velocity and size and everything else like that. But you know, with your pistol, they should have gone down or something or reacted in some way. They just take the hits to the chest and keep walking. The only thing that they do is slightly correct their course, which is awkward because their feet just kind of turn and they start to walk behind a tree.
Neem, we got a serious problem. I just hit him twice in the chest and he's still coming. And I'll like get out and run for the closest tree cover. So I'll say that you're going to start to do that, but before that, Agent Neem, you just saw Agent Hemlock fire off a couple rounds. What would you like to do? Like, what's your goal? Is to get outside? Do whatever?
Yeah, I think my goal is going to be, I think while Hemlock is doing that initial burst up the stairs and like not playing well with others by taking up the entire entrance and not leaving their partner any room to maneuver, I am going to grab that body armor because once is better than none.
Sure. So I'll say you take your turn to strap that thing up because it doesn't go on quickly. You have your body armor.
I actually wasn't gonna. I was gonna throw it to Rosewater.
Oh, I see. Sure. Okay. I'll say you quickly can pick it up then. So you have it in hand, and basically after you complete firing, Agent Hemlock, the scene that I would like for you to think of is the two of you are basically right there. Like you have you there, and then Agent Neem is right here. So when you break the Agent Neem, you can also break out if you so choose. So yeah, you all have the two of you have the chance here to basically move. Where are you trying to go is my question.
I'm trying to head for cover that will give me a chance to try and see around where he took cover to try and get off shots.
Are you trying to get a cover that is like really good cover, or are you just trying to put something between the two of you while still maintaining
just trying to put
eyesight?
something put something between us.
Okay, you kick over the wheelbarrow. You're not really sure how much that's going to stop, but it's something. Agent Neem, where are you trying to go?
I'm going to go on an intercept course with Rosewater.
Okay.
And throw her the body armor.
All right.
Something's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to take that same attitude with my cover. Especially because this guy... Yeah. He's not... Like, he seems to be kind of taking his own cover. Maybe.
Sort of. He's not moving in the way that you would expect a gunman to move. He's definitely moving in a very mechanical manner. So,
Yeah, that's weird as fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely whatever has registered the damage and is moving behind something to take less of that, but not quickly and not with the severity that you would expect. All right, so Agent Rosewater and Agent Sage, I will say that Hemlock has bought you some time that you can respond, Agent Rosewater, and Agent Sage, and you will not just be pinned down. What would you like to do?
I actually was looking at my sheet. I actually have like a 40 in handguns, but currently I think it's just I've been thrown body armor. I don't know how to put this on.
I mean, you could hide behind it.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
You can jam it up
holding
somewhere.
it up. Holding it up, like in a way, and trying to maybe find a slightly better spot. Because if this person is,
are you gonna get up? Are you trying to like get up and move? You're behind cover. That seem well. You don't know if it's solid or not. I will tell you if you're gonna try and get up, you're gonna make me a stability check to see if you actually even manage to do that.
I think I'm gonna try and get up and move to like a better spot, like trying to put distance between, and I'll make that stability check.
Sure.
No, that's a 68.
Okay. All right. You're gonna lose 4.
Oof.
And what I want to know is, you try to will yourself to get up. What is the thought in your head that forces you back down? And it can also be something, if you're trying to shunt some of this off, it can be about one of your bonds. That's fine. But something in your head is making it so you are not fucking moving. What is that?
Oh God, I'm thinking it kind of like on the verge of a panic attack, kind of the hyperventilating, I am clutching this thing, and my mind goes back to the first time I encountered Delta Green, when they burst into my apartment in the middle of the day. There probably was a gun pointed at me, and just sort of suddenly that there were no gunshots, but like there was a gun pointed at me, and that was probably the first time that ever happened. And in that moment, I am taken back to that time and how scared I felt. And there's probably trying to get a panic attack under control that I can feel by doing the count backwards.
Okay. Do you want to take the full stability damage yourself, or do you want to try and shunt some of it off to one of your bonds?
I think at the moment it is just taking it all myself.
That's fine.
It is like my mind is not even going to anybody else. It is going to just this moment.
Absolutely. And just for all of our other players and audience, in this game, when we take stability damage, you do have the option of shunting some of that damage off onto your bonds, which will have the effect of destroying your relationship with that particular person. But it does save you some from possibly having freezing up in the middle of a gunfight or something like that. So that's okay, though. You lost 4. That's not enough to make you have a momentary lapse. So yeah, you've lost your 4, and you are remembering that time when they came into your office. And the thing about it is, and the reason why this fear takes hold so much is, those are just pointed at you, and you know how scary that was. When you're being shot at, it's a completely different thing, because you hear those bullets biting into everything around you and whizzing past you and everything else. So yeah, that's a situation that you currently find yourself in. Agent Sage, what would you like to do? You've managed to get to cover. You don't have a gun, but that's okay. What would you like to do?
I'm feeling pretty good where I'm at. Because I don't have a gun and I don't have the athletic prowess to try to just barrel into this person. So I think I'm gonna be smart about it and just stay right where I'm at and let the people who know what they're doing do their thing.
Sure. Okay. So you're going to kind of stick to cover and maybe help people if the time comes. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody's been hit yet. Agent Hemlock. So what happens to you right now is you are hiding behind that wheelbarrow, and you see this person level their rifle at you and start to fire off rounds. I will give you a little bit of a benefit in that your wheelbarrow will stop some of this. You are going to take 7 damage as those rounds, some of them get slowed down by the wheelbarrow, but the rest of them bite into your skin.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I want you to make a stability check, please.
Alrighty. That's 90 over 65.
Okay. You're going to lose 3 if you choose. Now, have you ever been shot before, Agent Hemlock?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was behind enemy lines for a solid 6 years. I'm sure I was shot more than once.
Sure. I will say in this scenario here, you've been shot before, maybe by small arms, maybe by something that's kind of comparable. You definitely haven't been shot by some guy who seems to just be a mechanical being firing off rounds at you. What are you going to do in the scenario to kind of keep yourself from just hiding?
I'm going to think back to my teammates in Mist and how if one of us did take wounds while we were behind enemy lines, we knew that we had people behind us that could help, and I know that there's Sage there that has some doctorness to her, and Neem is also there to back me up. And while I might be frozen for the moment, I'm gonna try my best to get back up and keep going.
Sure. So you have taken some stability damage, which is going to make it so it's going to be a little bit harder for you to do things that are a little bit more risky in this scenario. And you have just been shot, which actually over to Agent Neem, I would like you to also make a stability check because one of your teammates just got shot, and you find yourself in a violent situation.
Motherfucker. 63 over my 60.
You all have been
Now
you are
is the
doing
time.
great at
My
everything,
dice
and
were
now
like,
so many
soon
good
as the guns
rolls
come out.
until we need.
We've already spent all of our good rolls. It's all downhill from here.
At least we stole Fred.
This is true. Fred has been stowed. It's fine.
like, where was that? I didn't need that 7 to sweet talk a hospital administrator.
But you got the info, so it's all good. You are going to take 2 stability damage. Again, if you so choose, you can try to shunt some of it off if you would like. But you're going to take 2 stability damage, and what I would like the question I will ask you is, have any of your partners in your period of time working with the FBI ever been shot in front of you?
I think the closest we've gotten is somebody got grazed.
Even that was probably very, very traumatic.
It was, except it was 5 years ago, and now it's just a big joke.
Well, that definitely
he likes to pull up his shirt, to show people the scar.
Well,
except it doesn't actually it's just an excuse to show people his nipple.
Well,
scar.
You imagine Agent Hemlock will have quite the interesting nipple story along with the 2 holes that are now on their chest. So that's kind of what's going through your head in the situation. But both of you do get to respond here. So whichever one of you would like to go first here, you can. It's your choice.
Neem, you're probably more able to react at this moment quicker, so
I am going to return fire.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me now he hasn't all the way behind cover yet, so you're not going to start incurring negative penalties. But go ahead and take your shots, please.
37 under my 60s. That's a success. That's
beautiful.
Good.
Go ahead and roll that D10, please.
D12. I carry a heavy pistol.
Oh, okay. D12, please.
Or at least that's what
No, that's fine.
Because I have my lucky pistol Gale.
That's fine.
That's a 9.
9. Okay.
He's named Gale, like Gale Force Winds.
Okay. Here is what I will ask Agent Neem. As you level Gale, that's the name of your pistol, correct? You squeeze off your shots, and I want you to tell me how you put this person down.
I think that there's just this moment where, like, I line up my shot, looking at the target. I know that they got hit in the chest, and I just make, like, a small correction to cut them off at the knees. Like, it's a gamble, but it's a gamble I'm willing to take.
Sure.
I need this person down.
I'll say that you go for the knees and you fire off, because it's not just one bullet. You're going to fire a couple. You fire a couple off. One of them definitely does hit them in the knee, but the return fire that was given to Hemlock kind of messes with you a little bit with your return fire, and the other one goes straight between their eyes. And they fall. Like, just crumple to the ground.
I'm just going to tell everyone that was on purpose. It's fine.
That's fine. All right. So you have downed this person. What would... Yeah, what are you going to do now?
First priority is Hemlock.
Yep.
Okay. So you and Sage are going to rush over? Sage and Hemlock, is that correct?
Sage is definitely rushing over to Hemlock.
Okay. Agent Rosewater, what are you going to do in this scenario?
Try to collect my shit.
Okay. So we'll say that you are trying to put yourself back together here. Agent Sage and Agent Neem, your training and expertise kick in to where you immediately go to deal with one of your comrades. So you make it over to Agent Hemlock. Agent Hemlock does have a couple of holes in the chest. Not fatal, but definitely need to get taken care of. The Agent Neem, with the caliber of bullet that they were shot with, these didn't pass through. At least, well, one of them did. One of them did not. So there's a bullet in there somewhere. So with what you can do at the moment, so being that this is Delta Green, you don't just roll and heal. You can stabilize Agent Hemlock to where they won't keep bleeding for the moment.
I would like to do that. I'd love to stabilize Agent Hemlock.
So I won't make you roll for it. You're not being shot at immediately. It is stressful, but not dangerous. So you do manage to plug up Agent Hemlock well enough that you can get back to where your actual medical things are if you would choose to try and do more. But you have managed to plug up Agent Hemlock. Agent Rosewater, you put yourself together and you see your comrades helping one another. And you have a body just laying motionless at the other end of the forest here.
I'm gonna survive. Somebody go search the body. With the arm that probably hasn't been, rendered slightly useless due to, because one of them probably went through the shoulder.
Sure, we can do that. You are definitely won't possess strength in both of your arms at the moment.
Yeah. And load her up in the wheelbarrow.
Sure.
And
is Agent Hemlock bigger than Deputy Jacobs was?
She's 5'10" and probably like
she pretty built.
80, $190 with what muscle she does have.
Okay, I would say that Deputy was not that. He was probably 110 pounds soaking wet. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to wheel.
I can walk. Just go search the body. Find out who the fuck that was. God damn it. I hate being shot.
Who's going to go search the body?
I'll do it.
Rosewater is absolutely just like, we'll do it if it's called on, but is suddenly just like, thinks she may lose what little she has in her stomach if she has to like look at the body.
I will say that it is quite jarring if you have not seen a corpse before that's been shot.
Yeah,
So.
I don't think I have.
I think I see Rosewater kind of like starting to get that ashen like look. And I'm like, help Hemlock. You'll get back to the car as fast as you can. I'll search it and meet up with you because I'll be traveling faster than y'all will.
Yeah, I did. You definitely like kind of puffy eyes. Definitely is like, maybe I was crying, maybe I wasn't. Who knows? I'm not gonna say. And as I make my way over to Hemlock, I've dropped the vest. It's the last thing that I was thinking of at the moment. It's help Hemlock.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Hemlock is absolutely going to try and stand up on her own before anybody tries to help her.
How
She's
much?
Like, I'm a badass. I'm a badass. I can do this.
How much HP do you have left, Ancient Hemlock?
8.
Okay. So with what you've taken, I would say that you're able to walk. Probably not very quickly, but you can walk. So, Agent Neem, you were investigating the body?
Yep.
Is that correct? Okay. Who's carrying the thermite grenades back, by the way? Because Agent Hemlock probably can't. Or are you leaving them?
Oh, no, we're taking those.
Sure.
Even more importantly now.
Before you seal up the green box here, I will say that you go over to the body. Again, as I described before, khaki pants, blue shirt. It looks like a scarf that used to go over their face. You, at a quick glance, can see that they have a swastika tattooed on their neck, and near where the shirt is, where it would run into. You smell that black mold smell coming off of them. You see that they had a carbine rifle. Looks like they had a couple extra clips worth of ammunition. Are you going to look for their, like, are you going to actually search their body, or are you just looking over them?
I'm not. Once I smell that black mold, I feel like it's like, you know what? Kick away the carbine. Because whatever the fuck is going on is real weird, and I don't feel like being the next in line in a horror movie.
Sure. Do you want to take the carbine, or are you just going to like throw it off somewhere? Actually, ask me. I will ask this. What is your goal with the weapon?
You know what? I am. I'm going to take it. I'm going to make it safe. And,
okay. And do you want to make use of it, or do you want to make it safe?
I'm going to make it safe.
Okay. So if you want to make it safe, like if that's the only thing, you don't want to take this because you don't know what it's attached to, that's fine. You have the skill. You can disassemble this and throw the pieces off into the woods. Like you can take out the firing pin, all the necessary components that would make this work, and throw them if that's what you want to do.
I think that's what I'm going to do. Not because like I'm so scared of the weapon, but like something is going on here, and this is a bad smell.
Sure.
So I don't know how it's like. We don't know enough. We can go hit up the rest of his white supremacist buddies.
Sure. So you disassemble it. You disassemble it. Are you going to leave the bullets, or are you going to take those too? Those are harder to just disperse.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take the couple extra clips, I guess. Like,
okay, sure. You now have 3 clips of 5.56 ammunition, which would fit this rifle or things like it. So, you toss away all of that. You might take the firing pin or some crucial component and pocket it. So if somebody did manage to find all the pieces, they still couldn't use it. The question I will ask is this, as you all are kind of putting things back together and I assume wanting to get the fuck out of here. What are you going to do with his body?
How
Toss
far
it in
away
the
from the
green
box
box.
is it?
Green box.
Yeah, I was
Probably
gonna say throw it in
Rolling
the
down
green
the
box.
stairs.
Probably about 40 feet. Not very far.
I'd help, but
I can help. I've got the gloves and the mask.
I have Hemlock. I'll make sure they don't keel over on the way back to the car.
I pass off the mask and gloves that I had to Sage to give to Neem so that no touching of the body.
So you want to put it in the green box?
Let's put it in the green box.
So it's going to take the three of you to do that. He's quite large, but you do manage to roll him over to the green box and roll him down the stairs. All of you now notice that same smell of the black mold smell. But you do kick him down the stairs. He lands unceremoniously on top of Baggo Fred.
Fred's got a buddy.
Mm-hmm. So he's down there.
So
Aw,
disturbing.
they're cuddling.
And on that note, just slam the door shut and seal
Sure.
it up.
I'll
Sure.
remember and see that.
So you'll slam the door shut. You'll cover it back up with the brush that was supposed to be there originally, because originally you needed a metal detector. Are you taking... So I know that you said you were taking the tape case. Are you taking the thermite grenades or anything else that we mentioned?
Hemlock would have probably said out loud something about the weird journal and mentioned to the Star People.
Mm-hmm. You going to take that with you?
If Neem says anything about the case.
I mean, I will. Like,
Sure.
it's like, hey, it looks like the only thing that got taken was this tape.
There's journal. Hemlock is not like in the green box. She's standing up at the top, but she points at the table where she had found it and says they wrote about what was said on the tape. So while we might not have the tape, we at least have some place to start.
Okay. So we'll snag the thermite grenades and the journal.
Sure. Well, looks like you have some reading material when you are sitting in your seat in the way back, or wherever you all are going to drive to now.
It's like Rosewater.
Can anybody else drive? Because I will probably be at a disadvantage at this point.
I have the minimum score of a 20.
Me too.
I have 40.
Oh, I guess you're gonna have to drive, and someone else
Neem
is
and
gonna
I
have to
switch
sit.
spots.
No. You need to lay down in the back seat.
And you're going to be laying or sitting right next to her so that you can give her medical care.
Perfect time
Yep.
for a car chase.
I will curl up in in shotgun.
Sure.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm going to give you that journal.
So you all have piled back into the car. Agent Hemlock, your wounds are sealed. All of you maybe mulling all of this over, maybe trying to block it out in your memory. Are you going to tell your handler that there's something else waiting for him down there?
Hemlock would send out a quick message. Heads up, second body. Weird fucking smell.
Are you
Fucking
actually going to
shot
type
me.
body? Or are
Yeah.
you going to try and say something like it?
No, I'll say
Mhm.
the second body. I mean, as far as I can tell,
Second
nobody's reading
gift
their
in the
messages.
box.
Yeah.
Like package delivered, turned out buy one, get one.
Sure. All right. So you
That's
send that
hilarious.
off, and you don't get a reply immediately, but suffice to say it's been received. All right. I will
Marked
ask
on red.
you. I will ask all of you this. Where are you going?
We probably shouldn't go to the
It-
sheriff's station because
It
too many
is.
questions.
It is nearing the you are well into the evening at this point. It's getting a bit dark. Again, I will let you read through the journal. If you would like to read it before you decide where to go, that's fine. But you do have somebody who is wounded, and you can't
Yeah.
really help them in the car.
I
Yeah.
definitely still have a bullet in me.
Sure.
Yeah, gonna have to. The motel is probably our best bet. No one's really gonna say anything. Hopefully, we just sort of
Just put down some trash bags and
Mhm.
we can clean it up after.
Did you tell anybody you were staying at this motel from the sheriff's department?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think we did. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I feel like the choice of motel would have blown our cover immediately.
Fair.
The FBI
yes,
would
you are-
actually pay for a real place for us to stay.
Yeah, the government would have put you up in a Holiday Inn at least, or something like that.
Least.
Yeah, something they can pay with a government credit card. All right. So as you all are driving back, Agent Rosewater, you are reading through the journal. I would like you to roll me stability, please.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get 42 out of 49.
Okay, so you succeed. You lose one. And with your loss of one, what I will tell you is this. You are reading the journal of somebody who kept a record of this from about 1984. And the information is about the increase in presence of what are called star people from the locals. It's basically a folklore piece telling you that there's these creatures that came from Pluto, and they are interdimensional beings that according to the folklore, they don't exist like living matter. At least that's what the person writing this has concluded by their description. It also mentions the Devil's Tower monument as well. It's just listed as Devil's Tower as being a point of interest for them. It says also, I have recorded a tape of what was told to be a communication seance, and I can't transcribe what it is. So the recording will have to suffice.
Don't have to that part, but I will definitely mention the Devil's Tower thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be something worth looking into, I guess.
Agent Sage, you're from the area, correct? Is that right?
I've been in Montana for a while, so
there's probably been some local that's talked to you at a party or something like that, trying to impress you with their knowledge of the local area and things like that, like, hey, why don't we go out sometime, get a bite to eat? We can drive out to Devil's Tower. Maybe you ask them about something. Touch them. The information that you want to get is it's in Wyoming. That's what's going to kind of come back to your memory. It's also far, but you do know vaguely where you could find it. And it's a national monument, so it's not like it wouldn't be that hard to locate where to go if you wanted to.
That would be quite a road trip, but we could do it.
We feel like it's worth checking out. It's certainly mentioned a bunch in this book.
As a person who's really bad at geography. As in me, the player.
It's
How
fine.
far are we talking?
I would say, you know what? Let's Google it to give you a more accurate read.
I'm going to guess 4 hours, 22 minutes. I grew up in Wyoming, so I know a little bit about distances.
So specific.
All right. Devil's Tower in Wyoming. 8 hours.
Okay. I was halfway there.
Yeah. You are looking at an 8-hour trip to get from Helena to Devil's Tower.
Like at that point, we'd be living on a prayer.
So
I appreciate you, Pooja.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Wow. And maybe that's, you know what? Maybe that's the song that's playing there as you pull into the motel. So Agent Hemlock and Agent Sage and Agent Neem, I believe I heard that you were going to try and patch Agent Hemlock up as much as possible. Is that correct?
At least get the bullet out of my fucking chest.
I'd like to get the bullet out of Hemlock's chest and do some stitching. Very not well done, but
yeah, I was going to say it's not going to be the cleanest thing in the world because you're doing this on the floor in a motel.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a second. I would say for the case of our story here, At some point, Agent Rosewater, you are told to go get more towels.
Yep.
Is that okay?
It works for me.
All right. You go to the office and, you see the same kid that was there before. Can I help you?
Hi. Yeah, I was just wondering if we could get some extra towels.
Sure. What room number are you in?
I mean, I could take them.
Oh, no, it's fine. What room are you in? What's your number? I just need to write where they're going.
Oh, what room number are we in?
Do you want to give him yours? It's okay if you do.
Yeah, I'll just
Okay.
give him mine.
Sure. So in giving him yours, he comes back with the towels. He says, "Oh, by the way, your husband came by. He came by and got a key. He said he would wait for you."
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And he hands you the towels.
And it's just like, as I walk off and head back to drop off said towels.
Sure. So you return with the towels. I will say for all of this, let's do this. Do you have first aid, Agent Sage?
I do. I have an 80 in first aid.
Okay, so you're really good at this. I'm not even going to make you roll. You're doing this in the least, not in a great situation here, but you are going to try to stitch up Agent Hemlock as much as possible. Go ahead and roll me a D4.
Let's see. If I can pick it up. There we go. That is a 1.
Okay. Agent Hemlock, you will heal 1 point of damage back, and your body is at least somewhat stabilized. Probably don't want to do too much moving. You might rip those stitches. So.
Thanks, kid. I'm asleep now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Not gonna shower again.
No, that's fine. Agent Neem, and what would you like to do?
Yeah. I'm getting away from this impromptu surgery.
Sure. So you make it back to your room. You probably take the time to wash off the day as much as possible and just try to relax, which is good because you will probably need your sleep. Agent Rosewater.
Yep.
You were told that your husband is waiting for you. Are you going to stay in here with Agent Hemlock and Agent Sage?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I kind of want to get away from the smell of blood and deal with this.
I don't know. So I don't know if the smell of blood, causing your stomach to churn, is much worse than what happens when you open the door.
Yeah.
Because it's not your partner.
I did guess that.
Yep. It's Micah sitting there waiting for you. And he does not look happy. And that's where we will end our scenario for this evening. That is where we will end our story for this evening. Thank you all so much for joining us on our playthrough of Extremophilia by Shane Ivey. My name is Alex, and I have been your handler for tonight's session of Delta Green. I would not be here, though, without my fantastic cast, and I will give them the chance to let you know who they are and where you can find them. As Agent Hemlock, we have the wonderful Killian.
Hi, I'm Killian. You can find me all over the internet as Darth Surrealish. You can also find me on R&R Production doing many things. And you can find me on Spectrum TTRPG playing Power Rangers.
Awesome. And as our medical know-how girly, we have Agent Sage, played by Abbigail.
Hello. You can find me under Abigail the Nerd. That's Abigail with 2 B's on all the socials. And then just check out my link tree for whatever projects I'm in at the time.
Excellent. And I'm sure we'll see you in many, many more. And speaking of being in many projects, playing the Deadshot, Agent Neem, we have Pooja.
Hello. Pooja, you can find me on the internet as Forgotten Saves, wherever you might, want to see photos of my cats. And if you want to hear me play more TTRPGs, you can find me on Happy Jack's RPG or the back catalog of 12-sided stories. Or, elsewhere on QCG, possibly, maybe.
I think it's safe to say that that's a pretty good assumption. And finally, last but certainly not least, playing our disaster girl, Agent Rosewater, we have QCG's very own Aubrey.
Hello, you can find me everywhere on the internet at the Mad Queen or Mad Queen Cosplay, depending on the site. You'll just see my face if you find me. I have very distinct hair. You can also find me playing in a lot of things over here on QCG. And if you're watching something and you hear the music, more likely than not, I had a hand in it in some way or form. And you can also catch me over on Goblins and Gays, where, Pathfinder things are happening, vampire things are happening. Both of those things are happening, so you should definitely go check those out. And then for anything else, just check out my link.
Excellent. And again, as I said, I have been Alex, and you can find me on all social platforms as AlexTheDM89. You can also find me here at Queen's Court Games, both as a cast member and a person running this and more games. If you enjoyed our session here and you would like to see more of what Queen's Court Games has to offer, please do check out our YouTube at Queen's Court Games. You can also find us on your favorite podcast apps, and I recommend that you do that. Also, if you liked what we did and you've consumed all of that content and you're still not satisfied, you want more, please go ahead and check out. We do have a Kickstarter, which has exclusive art, posts, and even some hidden episodes.
Patreon, not Kickstarter.
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you. All right, starting over. Also, if you enjoyed our sessions here and you would like to see more of what Queen's Court Games has to offer, please check out our YouTube, and you can also find us on your favorite podcast apps. Also, if you've consumed all of our content, be that the Vampire, Delta Green, and Cult, and everything else that we have, and you're still not satisfied and you want to see what else we have, please go ahead and check out our Patreon, where you can find exclusive art, posts, and even some episodes. Again, thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and thank you to my wonderful cast. And we will see you next time for the finale of Extremophilia. Have a good night.
Bye.